Okay, so this is part 2 of Lonely on Thanksgiving and How I'm an Avatar. Nope, the How I'm an Avatar part is not in this one. I'm going to stay strictly so I can keep this short. Yeah, right. Um, I'm going to just talk about how I feel right now. Uh, Maybe I shouldn't. Okay. I guess I'll just think out loud a little bit. It's really screwed up that I'm in this world where, okay, I've been here before, born in a manger, and even back then, when I got a little older, had a little couple of girlfriends. And I guess what I'll say is when everyone is in the same circumstance, generally, people tend not to pay so much attention to what you're wearing or how you look, but more so to the quality of the person that you are. And that's what draws people together. I mean, along with, this can be a very interesting part of this. I don't know how I'm going to keep this one short, but let's get into spirituality a little bit. Where, everybody wants to talk about soulmates. Most of y'all talking about that, you're full of it. You don't know nothing about a soul A. You know nothing about a mate B. No part of that word. I mean, there's mates like, like woman, man. There's mates like, that's my homie. There's mates like bond together. I'm not talking about sexually, I mean, like when you mate two surfaces together. So in terms of people, you put two people together and then they become inseparable because they're like drawn together like magnets. Yeah, that type of stuff. So, I'm gonna put it like this. I'll just talk. I walk on eggshells when I talk about anything with anyone. I'm talking to a phone, but I walk on eggshells when I talk about this stuff, and I gotta talk about it like this instead of to someone, in the organizations who we're all the same way. You guys, you don't know me. You don't care to know me. You're just listening because you just felt like stopping by and listening. You probably won't even make it through the whole, if you want to call this a video, audio. Yeah, it's called audio. But even any of you who do know me some kind of way, you don't know me. And you really don't want to know me. I mean, I wouldn't be in the circumstance that I'm in if you did. But, I'm just saying, like, okay, let me just say what I was going to say. Back when I was a certain alleged prophet, funny how I put that, right? Alleged prophet, and I was born in a manger, and I was around 14 years old. I had this girl that was really cool that I knew, and she didn't care that I didn't have. What's really funny about that is there's parts of my family that did have, because I've always been Illuminati. I told people that back then, but they made sure not to include it in scriptures. Yeah, if you knew stuff like that, they wouldn't be able to control you. So anyway, where was I? So this girl, right? So he was real cool, and we got to know each other. We was friends. We was friends for a long time. Before we was like, if you want to say girlfriend and boyfriend. So now, I guess this short video, right, can be on two different things. Spirituality, like two people together, and then, how the difference between people who, I don't know if you want to say fall in love when they're young versus, you meet somebody when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, and everything's different then because, it's based on what you look like, what you have, what you can offer the other person, all kind of other crazy stuff. So when you're young, you're more likely to fall in love with who somebody is. But, I know the way school is these days. You guys, man. I know some of the schools, they're doing this thing where they're trying to make, I know besides making all the kids dress the same, where they don't want certain kids coming to school with really expensive stuff because they don't want, like, around this time of the year, oh yeah, Christmas is coming up, right? In certain countries. They don't want, certain kids, what happens is, this is going to be like 3 topics. Maybe I can stay focused with that. Okay, so the topics so far are young love, me being lonely, not, it shouldn't be, soulmate stuff. That's still number 2, that part right there. And then, what was it? Talking about the clothing. I'll just say it because I don't know what I'm going to call that right now. What happens is, parents, like, when you're in school, your parents are struggling to work, to make money, to pay bills, and to provide for you if you aren't working yourself because of however old you are. And I mean, these days, I'm going to guess that, like, when you're 7 years old, the kids at school are looking at, what you're wearing, what you don't have. They always pretty much have done that because it's like everybody goes through this phase of, I guess from, like, once kids can start talking, they're looking at the next kid and saying bad or good things about them. But then you get up around, like, 10 or 11 years old, maybe a little older, I don't know. And then you fall out of the habit of worried about what somebody's wearing. It's more about the quality of the person. But then you get up around 17, 18, and now it becomes again about what somebody is wearing, what they have, because that's when everybody's getting cars and some people don't have. So we can all tie that together with your parents sitting there working and trying to provide for you. So now when holidays come up and kids are getting all these presents, think about what your parents are going through. Your parents are working double overtime, triple overtime, and all kind of crazy hours, trying to make sure that you have what the next door neighbor's kids are going to have. And then add to it the whole confusion. Like, if any of y'all are young listening to me, then look at this crazy part. Because, I mean, parents, I don't know how, adults, I don't hang around people. So I don't know how adults are, parents are around their kids these days with regards to staying out of adult business. Maybe some of y'all parents allow your kids to interact with you when there's adults around so that they know what's going on. Maybe that hasn't started happening yet. That should have always been the case. I've never believed in that, having the kids way over there when adults are talking business. Except that I understand some of you know your kids and they'll go to school and talk about stuff that you talked about with adults. Some stuff is classified, some stuff is secretive, some things are just like personal. But I mean, if you can like make it aside from that, then kids, as parents, you fault your children for things they don't know or things they do when you think they should know them because you told them something. But a child is like a sponge. It's an intellectual sponge. And when I say child, I mean from the time they're born up until, like, say, 18, 19. We start getting bored when we start going to college. We're not so heavy into the studying stuff. Some of you are, but, your heaviest absorption years, I think, are like up till your mid or late teens. And so you expect children to know how to behave when they go to school, to know how to behave when they go to college, to know how to behave when they get out in the working world, and you didn't give them anything to go on because they weren't exposed to things such as conversations that you have with other adults so that they know how the world works truly, what's really going on, all these things like this. You lie to the kid. I don't want to make this about this. Lord, that's like a fourth subject. Okay, keep this part short. You lie to your children about the way the world is all their life. Easter bunnies and Santa Claus, and when those things do exist. But I mean, see what I mean? There's aliens, there's Easter bunnies, there's all kind of other stuff that really do exist. You tell them that they exist when the kids are young, but you don't believe in it. the kids see them and they tell you they see them, but you don't believe the kids. And then the kids get older and you're so busy convincing them that they didn't see what they saw and they're crazy, that instead of them wanting to argue with you or wanting to feel like they're crazy, they say, okay, yeah, that stuff doesn't exist. I mean, imaginary friends that they had that were really real, but they only saw them, or them and their friends only saw them, but you don't want to believe in that stuff, but the parents did the same thing to you. I'm not going to go down the road because this gets all crazy too. So where was I? Your parents are working hard, trying to provide for you. Oh, I was on that subject because your parents are trying to keep up with the other parents, meaning, you know, they all got friends or people they associate with. We'll use the word associate. See, you go outside and you play with these kids, right? And they're your friends. You consider them your friends. But that doesn't mean that your parents are friends with their parents. All of you got to know that, because you go through the phases of, you shouldn't be hanging around him so much, or hanging around her so much, or this or that. So you know that there's something there crazy when you're friends with this person and your parents, both of y'all parents, don't really get along, and you know that, but you don't know why. And then, so imagine Christmas is coming, and so what's going on is your parents, or I can even direct this at you as parents, you're sitting there trying to match what this person over here, who you don't really like, who you fake like with, because y'all kids play together or whatever, you want to match what they're getting their kids with what you get your kids. So you work double overtimes or triple overtimes, and not so all of y'all are on the same playing field necessarily. I got a burp, hold on. Nice silent one, right? But because you don't like the other parent, truly, in your heart, and you feel like they're trying to outdo you. Maybe they are. They're trying to outdo you, now you're trying to outdo them, and it's you're beating the hell out of yourself to make sure your kids can look as good as they do in school and all kind of stuff like that. And you know, it's like the household suffers. I'll just say it that way, I guess. You know, because come time to go college, the important thing is, you know, we can go into a conversation, which I won't right now, about college and whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's actually both. And what monies you should have set aside for your children's college, but you were too busy trying to match up with what they needed in school to wear and things they needed, and these days phones and computers, geez, phones and computers and stuff every 6 months or whatever, when it's important that your children have the money they need to go to the college they need to go to. Because if they can get those grades and they can go to a certain school, or they want to do a certain other thing, you know, there's more than college. There's going into careers. Like, I'm an interesting dude. I know, you know, sometimes not sometimes, all the time. Well, sometimes I switch back and forth between talking, I don't want to say like hood, or like I'm educated. I don't like to say it like that. Just when I get really relaxed, the way it comes out, if you want to say it, is like hood. That doesn't mean ignorance. That just means I'm relaxed. Kind of like if you're from down south, which you'll notice, if you never wondered, people have a southern accent. That's because things are more relaxed down south because of the heat than it is up north. Up north is typically cooler. Down south is typically hotter. It's too hot to be sitting here and trying to, I don't want to say too hot to be trying to speak all educated and stuff, but it takes a lot more energy to speak a certain way than it does to speak another certain way. Kind of like when you're about to have a heat stroke and people speak and it's just like you don't really understand what they're saying. That's the basis. This is not an insult. It's what it is. And if you're from down south, you know I'm talking the truth. It's hot. It's real hot. You just lay back and you just talking. It's just coming out. Whatever way it's coming out, just relax. When you're up north and it's cooler, your brain is able to not function better, but work more, what's the word for it? Efficiently or something, without that heat. So, people from up north tend to speak a different dialect than people down south. You have the southern dialect here, down south, and you have the northern dialect here. Up north, it's like, I'm not going to go into that one too either, because I'm just tired. Anyway, where was I at? Oh, okay. What the hell is this video supposed to be out? Me being alone, and it's supposed to be about relationships. Yeah. Okay, so yeah. So then there's the young love. Y'all get to know each other because you're long. Wow. I think I'm tired of it. Okay, we don't sleep. 16 minutes already, right? Ain't that crazy? We don't sleep. I don't sleep. If you listen to my other videos, the best way to describe what I do a few days out of the week is the TV show Quantum Leap. Or I think that TV show, there's one called Loopers or something like that. That's what certain of us in the Illuminati, it's like when you put your computer, or I'll say your phone, I think computer too, when your phone goes to screensaver and it's not off, it's aware of what's going on around it, but it's conserving the energy. But when you're a biomechanical entity, bioelectromechanical entity, whatever, you have to use your conservation of energy time to, to rejuvenate, regenerate, whatever. So that's what I do. But when I'm leaping, I don't really get to do that so much. So I'm in a constant state of kind of sort of tired. Let's see, where was I at? So y'all gotta forgive me because I'm trying to push through this, because I want to complete that subject in these 2 videos and upload them today. But I might wait till tomorrow to upload them actually. I'm just trying to get content on my thing and build up the subscription base and all that stuff so that it can get monetized, so that I can start earning money, so I can get like motorhome command centers, so I can get like a house and stuff that has a bathtub, so I can take baths. I like taking baths, and I don't have a means of taking baths, we'll say it like that, or washing my laundry in-house, and so on. And I need command centers and everything for the jobs that I do, because I do all types of agency type work. I'm a black agent, as I've mentioned 1,000 times, right? I feel like my brain is shutting down. Lord, okay. Push through this. I'll throw it back to the young love thing. So yeah, when you're young, it's like you don't care, you meet somebody, they cool, and yeah, that was back in the day. And then, as you get older, if you're not with that person no more, and then you're alone for a couple of weeks, months, years, whatever, you just make up in your mind, the next person I meet is somebody I'm going to marry, or I just want to be with them for a long time, and I want them to be financially stable, and all these other things that have to do with adulthood or alleged adulthood come into play and mess with your ability to meld with someone. So you could walk in the street past someone who you're supposed to be with, technically, 1 billion times, and won't pay them one bit of mind, because your mind is so caught up in who or what you're supposed to be, and you've made yourself into this entity that may even actually, I'm trying to think of the word, but I'm so tired I can't think of the word. I'll just use other words. That'll push them away from you. that'll push you away from them. I think I said that right. Or push them away from you, however that goes. When they see you, and you vice versa, it's not cool, because that's why the world is so messed up. Nobody is who they're supposed to be with. Nobody's acting how they're supposed to act. Nobody's being who they're supposed to be. And this, I gotta liken it again. I think that was said in the last video. This is coming up on half an hour too, that quick. Jesus Christ. You know, if you got your tires in your car and your tires say, hey, the car as a whole loves the pistons and the engine better than it does us. They're more important, so I want to be a piston. I don't want to be a tire anymore. And your car stops working. So that's what's going on in the world. The world ain't working correctly because everybody's being and doing stuff they ain't supposed to be and do. And more importantly, they don't care. And none of yous really believe that what you do here affects what's going to happen to you when you leave here. It's like kind of like a punishment or something, like, I'm going to go get drunk and high, you know, after school and stay out till 12 at night. And if my parents, you know, back in the day, used to get whippings. If my parents spank me, so be it. I don't care if they ground me. They take away my, back in the day, it used to be Nintendo or Atari. Take away my iPhone, or, you know, won't let me see Johnny. That's always been the case. Won't let me see Johnny this Friday or whatever. You know, I don't care. But, you know, there's bigger things going on than how you feel about getting punished and what you want to do, worried about a punishment. This is life. This is real. All of this stuff right here, this is real, even though it's not real. But I'm saying it's real, and what you're doing is affecting the universe or the omniverses. And you're supposed to grow into all of this. Like your soul, spirit, or whatever is going to be around for like forever. Until, I don't really want to go here, but I'll just say it so it's said. I hate having to walk on eggshells. I'll just say it, and y'all just going to have to get kind of used to me and used to this whole thing that I try to say to you when I say I'm God and you live inside of me. You're going to have to get used to the fact that you're here in me forever. Even when I'm no longer the me that I am. Kind of like, if you want to say, not when I die, but when I transform into something else, like a spirit or whatever, though I am, but not. Okay, we'll say it like this. Everything that lives inside of you is stuck with you forever, pretty much, kind of, sort of. When you die, you become a spirit, right? It's still stuck with you. It becomes a spirit too. Parts of it you might be able to kick out, which is kind of like Judgment Day. The negative, you get rid of some of that negative spirituality when you become a spirit. It can't get rid of the negative flesh, you know, your flesh and everything, you know what I mean. Anyway, so in being used to that, you're going to be around forever. So you need to grow up. And that's whether you're 150 years old, 200 years old, 1 billion years old, trillion, whatever, or whether you're 3 days old. You need to grow up because there's bigger things at play here. Now the video is about, and I think I'm kind of ducking the whole emotional thing because I'm supposed to be on the whole topic of me being alone on Thanksgiving. Ain't that something? Again, another one. A lot of them. It's been a lot of them. A lot of Thanksgivings. A lot of years. Okay, so where am I? I was talking about Young Love. Okay, so I'm gonna try to keep it under half an hour, and I'm gonna focus on how, because I'm poor, I can't find anyone, along with, because of my teeth, because of my age, because of my I don't know, other stuff. I don't even really know what to think. I'm tired and I'm trying to record this stuff and how I feel. Please don't stop the video yet. Just bear with me, man. Trying to give myself a little jolt here. But me giving myself a jolt is saying some stuff I don't want to say, and I walk on eggshells with this YouTube stuff because I know they quick to want to take somebody's channel down or do this or do that. It's like there's nowhere. Well, there probably is places, but I'm saying I don't feel like I don't got time to look for what do you call it? For outlets. I'll say it like that because I can't really think straight right now. Outlets to say really the stuff that's on my mind, and these days it's like you can't do that. You got to walk on eggshells. It's one of my favorite terms, right? Walk on eggshells with what you say about everything. You're not supposed to have to do that. It's like, all this social media stuff is supposed to make the world friends. Really. Like, you have friends, right? Some of you, or at least family or people you talk to. Some of you, most of you, I don't know. And what makes you tight with them is because they know how you truly feel and what you think. And you don't have to walk on eggshells when you speak to them. You can say exactly what's on your mind, how you really feel, and they respect that. And that's what actually gets something accomplished. But when you do this on social media, it makes you have enemies. And that's not supposed to be. That's just like so stupid. It's the total opposite of what everything is supposed to be. You think about it for a second. And I know I'm going off subject from me being alone and thing, but I got to say this. You get online to interact with other people. It's much the same way as when you meet somebody, boy or girl, this, that, and the third, friends, to become more than friends. You meet someone, and the whole thing is you want them to be honest with you, and you want to have someone to be honest with, so that you don't have to walk on eggshells with these people, because that always interferes with tight relationships. People die for each other, or used to. Really, seriously, people would take a bullet for each other back in the day, and it was real. And these days, it's not much of that going on, because everybody's so busy being fake with each other, or everybody has these agendas with each other. And that's what happens over social media. I mean, it happens in real life too, but the social media thing is like, way worse. It's just not cool. We're supposed to unify as a world, as Omniverse, because they got cell phones on other planets, bro. Things more advanced, some less advanced. Remember flip phones? They got flip phones on certain planets. I'm not going to tell you which ones right now, though. So it's supposed to make everybody join together. So now, okay, tying that back to where I'm at. So because I don't have Jack, I can't find nobody. Back in the day, it was... And see, I've been here a long time. I think that's a bigger part of the problem. You know what? There's going to be a lot of these videos, I think, where it's going to be me. It's like y'all going to be my psychiatrist. And please don't get in the comment sections and making crazy remarks about that. But I mean, stop and really think for a second. I don't got nobody to hang around with who's human. And no one to talk to who's human, and most of the stuff that I know or deal with is so highly classified that there's no president or organization on this earth that knows that it exists, or that has a level of clearance to deal with what I know and what I do. It's real crazy, but I'm poor. I don't get paid for any of this stuff, so it's like I do this because I need to develop rapport with humans so that I can get paid, and so that the agencies that I bring from black to gray, I'm working on 30 minutes, from black to gray, can get funding. There's like I've said in other videos, there's so many, there's illions of agencies. I don't deal with illions of agencies yet. Well, yeah, I do. But as an avatar here, I don't. I deal with hundreds of thousands of agencies here. Yeah, just here. But a lot of them are off-world agencies, but hundreds of thousands of agencies, thousands of which, over the past, 5 years, I think it's been 4 years, have been going from being black agencies to gray agencies, but have no funding. And they need to have funding to operate here on Earth in this plane of existence, in your world, our world, whatever you want to call it, in order to succeed, because this omniverse, this existence itself has to be saved. And it has to be done on your plane of existence, if any of you can understand that. So with this being 30 minutes long, okay, so let me try to close it off with, what was I going to say? I think what I really want to say, like, I don't want someone, like, I don't want a girlfriend, I don't want a wife. I want a relationship with someone where we work together, and it can be more, but I wanted the foundation of it to be, you know, all of this, what the hell am I trying to say? I guess I just blurt it out. That comes out best sometimes. I'm trying to think and I'm tired. I can't think when I'm tired. I want like when I was talking about jobs, CIA, I ain't gonna go on that. It's for 30 minutes. I want a CIA type of woman, who's secret society type, who's very down to earth, who's I don't want to use the word independent because that's not cool. Like, women think independent means they don't need a man. That's not what independent is supposed to mean. It's supposed to mean you can function on your own. That doesn't mean you don't need a man. It means if push came to shove, you could function on your own. But we all supposed to need somebody. So, you know, whatever that is, I want someone like that, and I'm too tired to really, I think, access that part of my consciousness to really say how I feel about that. And it's 32 minutes anyway. Maybe I'll get into it in another video or something. I think I've said enough about that. I'm trying to think. Just give me a minute. Yeah, somebody who could look past what I am right now or whatever. Because I'm telling you, listen real close. Everybody, listen. When I get myself together and get the power, positioning, funding I need to be able to take over the omniverses and save them and stop all this madness that's going on, I'm not going to want none of y'all women. That's my word. Is not my word? Okay, let me pull that back, because I don't like promises. I don't like saying that's my word, and I don't like making promises. What I will say is, oh man, I gotta think of an expression. I want to say like that dude from South Park. That's so serial. I'm so serial. I do it like that because I like that. That's really funny to me. I'm so serial. Yeah, I'm so serial with that. I can't wait to listen to this. I don't know if I'm going to listen to this myself. Listen to myself talking when I'm tired. I don't think I've ever done that. Not even when I make music. I've made music when I was tired. I didn't really listen to it playback. I think one day I'm going to make a song, or, you know, singing or rapping when I'm crazy tired, and then play it back, and then actually make it a song. But that's far off in the future. Anyway, so with all that said, so this is at least part 2. So later.